digital me, virtual me, future me. Yep. I am now catching up with the necessary conversation. It's a good show, a good YouTube channel, and the thought that I would like to share or again share is that MAGA talks, and this isn't unique to MAGA, this is a thing that Republicans and conservatives alike with MAGA. But MAGA brings it to the forefront in a vociferous way. What about all them murderers and rapists and all that sort of thing? Illegal murderers and rapists and stuff, and it's like, okay, so how do we go talking about this? One, okay, so they think there's the population of illegal immigrants in the country is they think the population of illegal immigrants in the country is like 30, 50 million or something like that. I don't know what it is by any estimation. I think the population of immigrants in the country might be 30 to 50 million. I think maybe the population of illegal immigrants might be 10 million or 12 million. Might. I think it's lower than that. So let's say it's 10 million. Let's just agree that it's 10 million. Why? Because 10 is even. It's easy to do percentages with. I'm going to use that number just because it's easy to do percentages with, and because if you're going to say higher, I'm going to say you're just wrong. Even if there are some official numbers that say higher, like the CBO or something like that, the thing that one guy is on the necessary conversation, that he's like, oh, I never trust that. So he never trusts the Congressional Budget Office or official government accounting things if they give him information that he doesn't like. But he will if they give him numbers that he does like, that he is like, there's 50 million illegal immigrants? Yeah, that sounds like a high number. They must be right about that. Like, whatever. Anyway, so 10 million, that's a nice, easy number to work with. Maybe it's a lot lower, I don't know, but 10 million is easy to work with. Because the other option is like 5 or 1. So 10 is nice and easy to work with. I also say that, like, the crime rate of illegal immigrants is something like 1%. It's like 1.1 or 1.2%. So that would mean out of 10 million, 10% is 1 million out of 10. 1% is 100,000. So just criminals would be 110,000. Violent crime is a tiny sliver of that. Violent crime out of the criminals is something like a few percentage points, like 5 or 10% of the criminals. So out of that 110,000, it's like in between 5 and 10%. So out of 110, it might be 10,000, maybe 11,000. Really? 11,000? All right, 11,000. 11,000 violent criminals. Now that's violent criminals, all right? The violent crime section is not just murderers and rapists, that's assaults. Now when you have the assault tab in any kind of, if you go to the FBI crime statistics site for any city, murder and rape makes up a small percent of the violent crime. Most violent crime is assault, battery, armed robbery, all these other different kinds of violent crime other than murder, flavors of homicide, and sexual assault. You know, rape 1, rape 2, blah, blah, blah. So other than homicide and sexual assault. So the number of illegal immigrant murderers, I wouldn't say the number is vanishingly small, but it's small. In order to get it, up to 50,000, we would probably have to import, through the usage of statistics, we would probably have to import something like 1 billion immigrants. That's the country of India. You know, the most populous country in the entire world. And the United States could hold that many people pretty easily. So, I mean, buy land and stuff. We got the room, Nebraska, Montana, Wyoming, North and South Dakota. Idaho. There's land. So yeah. I'm pretty sure the white people there won't really like it, but you know, all those Indians, but yeah, whatever. See, that's the thing about conservatives, Republicans, MAGA. Math is not really their friend. You start bringing numbers into their world, and shit just does not compute. So, yeah. Anyways, there you go. There's that. And the other thing about that, the whole murderers thing, that's only the first bit, by the way. What time are we on? Ugh. That's 11 minutes. It took me that long just to make that point. How MAGA talks about the murderers and the rapists. They don't talk about the other side of the coin that is absent, which is how all these billionaires in the world are killing, raping, murdering, starving on a daily basis. Millions, billions of people around the world, millions of people in America, billions around the world. With the use of their cowardly money games. And, you know, that's what brought about the Nazi revolution. I mean, that's why. That is why we had World War II, more or less. I mean, it's simplifying it a lot, but you know, that's what it was. When you have something like that happen, thankfully, it happened over there, and over here in America, once that happened, you had FDR already doing a bunch of shit over here, and then because FDR was president and kind of could have the vision to see, well, that's shitty, and at the same time, it's an excellent opportunity for America. You know, Europe's shithole is America's probably best opportunity since its inception, basically, since its founding. It's probably the best opportunity since its founding. So that's what got his face on the mountain. So, yeah. And the only thing that'll get Trump's face on the mountain is if he successfully becomes a dictator and manages to start killing people in camps like Hitler. I don't know how you're going to do that, because half the country fucking hates not only Trump, but the Republican Party. So, I mean, that's going to be kind of that's a difficult thing to do. And on top of that, trying to do something like that while the entire rest of the world is watching, and pretty much nobody wants nobody likes this guy. It's like nobody likes this guy. It's just people are like, hey. It's like nobody in the Axis was like friends. They were just allies. They were just bullies that were working together. The allies were allies. There's a difference between the two groups. The Axis were just partners in evil. The allies were actual, like, allies. That's what Trump and Putin and North Korea and whoever the fuck, that's what the bullies are. It's like, I'm a big, strong guy, and Putin is like, guys are just dicks. Whole world sees you, and you're just like a guy who just likes to, see a small dude and be like, look at my gun. Now I can shoot you. It's like, you're a dick. You're a fucking dick. Like I said before, I'm kind of surprised that like some of our generals hadn't just like offed the guy yet. And just been like, yeah, we're just, the way he talks about a lot of our military, some of the generals, some of the lieutenants, and it's just like, it's like our military is the greatest, but he said some shit about some of the generals and just some of the people in the military too. It's just like the way he's, it's just, I have to believe that there are a lot of people in the military that just do not like this motherfucker. And are just waiting for the right time to be like, oh, okay, we can fucking get rid of this dude? All right. They're just waiting for the okay signal. I'll be like, good. So we can kill him now, right? Good. Excellent. Oh, I'm so glad. Oh, I'm so glad we can get rid of this dude. It's like no Republican president before him was this much of a dick to the military, this disrespectful to the military. No Democrat either. No president was this much of an asshole, just in general or specifically. The guy is just an asshole. I guess that's why he has the undying loyalty of a certain set of people, because that select group of people that are just going to be loyal to him, like you know, forever. They're like, it's going to be those kind of people who are like, I think everybody knows the kind of guy, the guys that are just dicks. Like, you know who I'm talking about. Those guys that are just fucking assholes. Like, they're usually big dudes that are dumb. Don't know what the fuck anything is about. But as is everything in nature and life, there is a distribution curve. So they come in all shapes and forms, and they're not always dudes. There are bitches out there too. And yeah, they're going to be loyal. They're going to march off the cliff and whatever. I don't know how big that crowd is going to be, what the final tally on that crowd is going to be, but we'll have to wait and see how many millions that's going to end up tallying. But legally speaking, the guy can't run for a third term unless there's a change to the Constitution, and I mean, that's a bill that has to be proposed by Congress, and it has to be proposed by the House, I believe, make it through the House, make it through the Senate, accepted, signed into law by the president, and then ratified by 2/3 of the states. 2/3 of the states. That's not going to happen. 2/3 of the states. It's not going to happen. You might be able to get 1/3 of the states fairly easily. But 2/3, there's not even any point in proposing the bill, because you're just not going to get that. And you're definitely not going to get it done in the time necessary to allow the guy to run again. I mean, unless he personally starts doing some straight up dictator shit. Like, he would have to start doing some straight scary level dictator shit. But there's going to be midterms coming up. I mean, it's 6 months in another. I mean, the campaigns are really going to start to run in another 6 months. Unless they're already, I don't know if they're going on now and then 26 is when they actually serve. Because I think the election is in 26. So yeah, as I understand it, the campaigns are really going to be in effect in like next February and March and stuff. Because the American campaign season is too long. But basically, campaign season is going to really start in like 6 months, even though people have already declared themselves to be running right fucking now. So people are already like, I'm running right now. I'm already running in this place and this place and that place. Like they're already like starting to run their campaigns. I guess because like everybody's like, all right, we already know some areas are up for grabs that have never been up for grabs before. So because Trump and MAGA have changed the game. They changed the game. They may have actually I think I said this in another video. Trump may have actually, and you know, this is, like I said, I may have said this in another video. Trump may have actually been, in a way, the best thing for American politics in a long time, but in the bad way. Like, I equated it to an alcoholic hitting rock bottom for America. Like, you know, Trump may be America's rock bottom. Like, it's like, all right. And then, like, now we have to have, like, the Reformation in terms of the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. Like, both of them will have to take a hard look at themselves. Maybe we'll have some new parties form, because there was a time in America where, I don't remember when it was, but if there are some people that watch this that are history buffs, there was a time in America too where it wasn't a two-party system. Some people are like, hey, we've always had a two-party system. No, we haven't. We haven't always had a two-party system. There was for a long time multiple parties. There were two main parties, but there were other smaller parties that had they had an informative role. They had kind of a nudging role. They did things. Those smaller parties, and maybe there were only like 2 or 3 or 4, but they were political parties, and they kind of squeezed out the nutter butters. That was kind of their main function, really, is they kind of like, they did their job. And because also they were good and functional, those parties actually had people in seats. You know, they weren't just like the Green Party for America or whatever, which actually I think the Green Party did at some point have a person somewhere elected. But like, you know, like libertarian, like all these parties that most of the time never actually get anyone elected. But they're like always running candidates, but they They never actually get anywhere. Anyways, in the modern era, it's just, in the modern era, the only one that's really successful is Bernie Sanders. An independent one that's been around for like 40 years. He got in, and man, the guy's a workhorse. Like I said, he's an independent, and he tried to run on the Democratic ticket too. He was willing to break from his independentness. So, to break from his morals. And I didn't vote in that election, but I thought to myself, it would have been a brilliant strategy if Hillary had as her VP nominee Bernie Sanders. If she would have went with her VP nominee as Bernie Sanders, I would have actually voted in that election. And I think that I don't know that she would have won, but I think she would have stood a much better chance if she had Bernie as her VP. I don't know why she didn't. Maybe she did. My memory, like with everything I say, my memory is bad. So everything should be, that caveat should be involved in everything I say. But I'm pretty sure her VP was not Bernie Sanders. Because I was always thinking, it was my thing always that Bernie should have run as an independent. Even if it would have stripped a shitload of votes off Hillary. I was just like, the Democrats just lost me there, basically. But still, even then, a good ticket for the Democrats would have been, for their strategists, just to be like, okay, Hillary, we're not going to pick you as the nominee. We're going to pick Bernie as the nominee. We want you to be the VP. That would have been like the most brilliant strategy for the Democratic Party committee or whatever the hell. For me, because how good of a strategy can you get to pick a white guy? I mean, an old white dude, right, as the president, solid, right? That's a solid pick for the presidency, all right? And then to really hammer in the liberals, you got a white woman. All righty then. Not only is it a woman, but just to be on the safe side, it's a white woman. All right, it's good. We're still good because we're still white. We don't got any of that color in there, and we can nibble just a little bit off of the conservative side. Be like, I'm a little worried about the liberal stuff, but I like that it's a woman. I'm willing to give them a chance. Just that 1.5%. Bernie's a little too liberal for me, but you know what? They got a woman there. I'm going to take a chance on that. I'm going to take a chance on a vagina being in there. It's like they don't have anyone playing chess in there. I don't know. They don't even have anyone playing checkers in there. Whatever. Or tic-tac-toe. Or what is that other one? The, the thing on the computer where you click a box. And not Minecraft, Mine Clearer. Not Mine Layer, but Mine, whatever. Mine something. Old people will know. People my age and older will know. I want to say Mine Clearer, but it's not Mine Clearer. It's not Mine Clearer and it's not Mine Layer, it's Mine Sweeper. There we go. Mine Sweeper. Oh, to be in school and 10 years old and being like, yes, I am definitely writing my essay. Shit. I mean, and now General Sherman. Fuck. I mean, on our Apple IIc. Because yesterday we were playing Oregon Trail. Oh man, those were so the days. My balls itch has just died of dysentery. Well, maybe if your balls weren't itching so much, you know. And seriously, did you guys have the teacher that was like, you shouldn't be going out killing all the buffalo. Once you shoot one buffalo, you can stop hunting. You don't need to kill like 6 buffalo every time you hunt. Did you have that teacher? Seriously. When you were playing Oregon Trail? Did you? Did you? Okay, that's enough of traveling back to yesteryears. Anyways, I hope y'all had fun. Boxers and shirts. Boxers and shirts. Boobs out, peoples. Boobs out.